Hey everyone, how's it going? So now that we got the post form showing inside of the reply modal, we're going to make it make it action the button right here so that it disables and enables it based on whether there's text in there. So we've already written the code for this, thankfully, but we need to go back and scroll up to, where did we do it? Let me see, key up, right here, this very top one. We've got post text area key up, okay? Now, we obviously are targeting the ID, and with an ID, it assumes that there's only one element with that ID in the whole page. Whereas currently, if I go back to our mixins.pug, you'll see that we have this text area with that same ID. So we're just going to change it. Instead of post text area, we'll call it reply text area so that it's unique. And I'll take that new reply text area name after I've saved the file, of course. Go back to common.js, and then we'll put a comma after that. Like this, and paste it in there. So now this event will fire when either of those two have a key up function fired. Now here we have to make some changes because here we're targeting the submit post button, but obviously we don't want to do that this time around. What we're going to do is check if it's a modal or not. So we're going to basically say if it's a modal, we're going to use this button right here, but if it's not a modal, we're going to just obviously use the post button like we have been doing normally. So it's actually really simple, don't worry about it. We're going to add some code in here. We'll say var is modal equals, and then text box. So we're using the text box, and we'll say dot parents like this, and then I'll put dot modal in there. Dot length equals 1. Okay, so what this is doing is it's getting the text box, so we know which text box we're currently typing in because the event was fired on that text box. Yeah, we're getting the current text box and we're checking the parents of that element to see if any of them have the class modal, and then dot length will either be 1 if it does, or it will be 0 if it doesn't have them. So now this will be true or false based on whether we're in a modal or not. So all we need to do is use this value here when we're creating the button. So we'll say, instead of just setting it to this like that, we'll say is modal question mark. And if it is a modal, we're going to use our other button. So if I copy this and I'm going to paste it before it and put a colon, the ID for our button was submit reply button right there. That's what we gave it. So copy that and replace that. And make sure you got these the right way around. So we've got submit button equals is modal. So if it is a modal, we're using this button, which is a submit reply button. If it's not a modal, it will use this one. And that should be it, I think we're good. So yeah, let's give it a try. I'll refresh the page, and hopefully when we type into the text box now, we'll see the button enable and disable. So it enables. If there's no text, it should disable, which it does. Even if there's spaces, because we trimmed the value, that's still not working. But as soon as we add some actual text, it enables again. So yeah, it works.